Hello.
Hello. Yeah, you can see me, right? So,
Um, I would if I was not in another window.
yes,
Yes. Oh,
exactly.
wow. Hi,
I'm streaming from
Avatar.
VR. Yeah. So this is the way that I usually have my meetings nowadays, and it's working out really well. I'm
Are
in
you
like
gonna
a,
shoot me?
uh, I'm not.
Oh,
I mean,
oh,
I might be
okay. I
dressed
thought
for
those were
that. No,
pistols.
this is actually a Bible, I guess. It's not a
A Bible.
pistol.
Okay.
Yeah. My name is technically God, so that kind of explains. Um,
Well, you can hit me with a word, I guess.
mm-hmm. No. So, oh God. People
So,
like,
what is that app and what are you using? Are you using a VR headset?
yes, I'm using the Valve Index and with full body tracking right now. That means I
Okay.
can do things like this, right? And all my fingers are tracked,
Mm-hmm.
everything really. And right now, I'm doing it like this because one, I can always have a new environment, right? It's more interactive than
Right.
just video. And two, I can show you stuff whenever necessary. This is,
Oh, nice. So sharing is easy. Can you
mm-hmm.
also do 3D models and
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that?
yeah. You can
Oh,
also
that's
show
super
3D
sweet.
models, or I was talking to a friend yesterday. He made a world with an actual virtual 3D printer, right? So I'm working on yachts right now. So 3D printed yachts and habitats. I want to talk to you about that soon. So yeah, in that world, you can basically see the entire thing being built up by the 3D printer, and then where it might go wrong in the process. It's ideal. On top of that, I have a simple agenda. I kind
That's
of
your
wanted,
profile.
uh, yeah, I kind of wanted to go through your profile because I was really impressed. Like this does seem like a hidden genius level, right? So you have big ambitions, and I like that.
A
Um,
little bit.
a little bit, yeah. So yeah, so I'd like to go through your profile, your history, right? Then my profile, my history, and then I want to do a deep dive on deep space industries. That's your company, your
That's
space company in
that's
a
the
sense.
previous.
Oh, the proof. Oh my God. Well, it's still cool. Okay, wait.
The
Let's see. Your current one is
DSI ceased to be in 2019, I think.
why?
Uh, Space mining was really too early,
No,
and
no. Space mining is the next $1 trillion industry. Like,
it's been the next $1 trillion industry for like 15 years.
yeah, but it's just the technology. We need launch capacity, etc. And like, inflatable habitats, for example, what Bigelow is doing. That's the answer, right? That's one answer to
Big
get a lot of stuff there. Yep.
Bigelow is also gone. They
What?
they ran out of money and went down to like 3 employees.
No. Okay, so I am. You think they're for
However,
sale? Yeah, go on.
however, their inflatable habitat technology or stuff very similar to it is alive in a company called Sierra Space, which is a recent spinoff of Sierra Nevada Corporation.
Okay, this is all very shady. Like, that technology is so good, there's no way it would fail. Like, I really don't see the why it would fail.
Bigelow's issue was that the CEO, not Deuce Bigelow, was an abrasive personality, and a lot of people just didn't want to work with him. And he also made some bad business choices in Bigelow Aerospace.
Oh my
So that's
god.
that's really what happened with them.
We have to save the okay, that's a side quest, but um all right. Oh, sorry. Let's ignore that for a bit. So, yeah. So tell me about yourself. So, what's your history? What do you want to your profile. I already put it open here because it's really interesting, right? So, yeah, take the stage.
Yeah, so my history is kind of listed there. I've done metal art for a while. That kind of got me better with, it taught me bronze casting. It taught me
Oh my god.
blacksmithing, a lot of metallurgy stuff.
Yeah.
I know I have a better understanding of crystalline properties and formations in metals, both iron based and non-iron based metals. That's been really useful in the past few years.
One
Um,
question. Have you also, what do you know about metal 3D printing?
a little bit. That's also been useful in that. There's some challenges with that.
Mm-hmm.
Metal 3D printing is fantastic. I'm really enthusiastic about it. One issue, I guess you could say, is just the fundamental amount of energy required to do sintering processes. And also, with metal 3D printing, you generally get some issues with porosity. They're getting much better at that. And also, I'm seeing numerous projects where people are working on like sub $5,000 metal 3D printers. And
What?
it's pretty remarkable to see that sort of stuff happening.
Mhm. Okay, that's amazing. I'll go deeper. There's so much I want to touch on with you. But I don't know if you're open for any extra stuff, but you might be interested once you hear my story, right?
Maybe I've got a pretty freaking full plate with everything else right now. I mean,
What is making the plate full?
OrbitsEdge,
Yeah.
that's my actual company.
Mm-hmm.
That is Rick's startup. Um, hold on a second. Somebody's calling me, and I think I recognize the number. I'm not sure. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hello.
Well, I'll just let people
Ugh,
see where we are right now.
that is never mind.
Okay.
Somebody told me that if I don't give them money, the police will arrest me for IRS fraud. So
Mm, typical.
I'll
Uh,
just I'll just worry about that when it happens.
nah. Like, it's a sign of the times, right? I do feel like we need something to save society because they've lost all hope, right? So, what do you do with a climate disaster, looming economic crisis, possible wars, real or not? It still does something to your mind, right?
I would
So,
actually take
mm,
the opposite track. I would say that um, in terms of relative humanity, we are at a better place
we
than
are
we've
at peak
ever been in the
humanity.
past.
I know, but it takes a while to realize that, like, through all the media downplaying of how good we have it. Like, come on, like, we are basically creating our own problems. That's how good we have it, right?
We always that's yeah 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 that's true. I would agree with that. I would say that our biggest threat to ourselves is ourselves. Uh, it kind of makes me feel like that part in the Matrix was
Mhm.
probably accurate, where they said, "We originally created utopias for you, but you kept on destroying them. So we've given you this. The '90s is peak human civilization, apparently.
Oh my god,
So
yeah.
that I remember that, and I've always kind of wondered, well,
Yeah.
let's see if we can refrain from destroying it long enough to build something more permanent.
No, that's the thing. I am actually building something to go to have a sustainable lifestyle outside of this entire uh, society in a sense, right? So with these 3D printable habitats and yachts, you can basically have a self-sustaining, decentralized society going on, right? And
Can you
since
build
it's
ships, spaceships?
I want to. That's my dream.
Because
So,
like,
mm,
because like if I had a virtual 3D printer, I don't think I would build something that I can have in real life. I mean, obviously, the only thing separating me
mm.
from one of those yachts is $100 million.
No, 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 no.
But
Mine is 1 million.
okay, well, that's I don't have that either. So,
Okay,
um,
well, I mean, I could give you a deal. Like you could be a beta tester, a permanent beta tester, but whatever, right? So yeah. Either way, go on.
Um, yeah, I would just like to build something that I can't have in my virtual world. I'd like to build like an
Uh
O'Neill cylinder or something
oh,
like
that's
that.
also my plan. So it's my version is a bit different though. I'll just call it an Obrian cylinder, but it's basically a double helix shape on the inside, right? And you can build it up in parts. So I'm going into specifics here, but why not, right? We're both nerds in a sense. So the thing is, ice is probably the best way to start 3D printing in space. If you have water and ice, you can basically construct a gigantic spaceship, right? Even with existing materials, for example, let's say you Starlink, right? These are very flat pieces, right, with solar panels and sensors, etc. So if you use all of these, you collect these Starlink satellites somehow, right, and put them in one place and like link them together with sheets of ice between, right? Then you can make a very large spaceship. Like that's already one case of anything you can do with existing technology and budget. On top of that, I would say Phobos, the moon, it's the moon of Mars, right? That one is the perfect to make an actual O'Neill cylinder or others, mega structure. Mainly because you can dig into it, right? And you can dig and just um, slowly remove parts, right, and then construct them outside of it, or just dig an
Kind of,
entire
sort of.
cylinder into it, right? So it's all about just getting there and just getting your energy and your materials there. But technically, it's very easy, right?
Kind
Just
of,
getting
sort
there is
of.
hard.
If you try and build with ice in free space, you'll have sublimation, where the ice just goes straight from the solid to
Mm-hmm.
gas and just goes away. You'd have to have your ice in a container of some sort. So I'm
But
assuming
that can
you're
be a
gonna.
thinner layer, right? So
Yeah, I'm guessing you'd have to have. You could do something involving ice, but it would have to involve like tin cans, like metal containers.
you would need metal anyway in some for some
For sure.
form of shielding. So I would say it's a viable path, but that's more long term. Short term, we have to at least make it so that we're alive to like get up to space and do those things, right? But I'm pretty sure we can do all of this, but there's just no will. Like we spend trillions of dollars on wars, right? What would $1 trillion do for the space industry? You would be able to set up infrastructure. Let's say you set up infrastructure on the moon, then you can start mining, right? And you
For a
an added
trillion
benefit,
dollars,
yeah,
yeah, for $1 trillion, we could have a mining colony on the moon doing other
exactly.
economic and
Uh,
research
and that's
stuff with a
that's
thousand
super
people.
scalable, right? Once you
Yeah,
have these robots producing more and more material, just shooting it up into orbit, you can construct anything. You can shoot it back to Earth. And the benefit of the moon, this is why I think it's a holy grail. I mean, we were talking about asteroid mining, right? But there's a lot of asteroid impacts on the moon in these craters. Technically, that's exactly what you would find on these asteroids. So it's literally a gold mine, right? The moon is the holy grail. So just having a base set up on the moon is probably better than O'Neill cylinder even, because there's so much there, and it's within reach, right? Oh, what a cutie! Oh my god. Okay, nice.
she loves to be next to my head.
Mm. But yeah, I think we are drifting off though. This is maybe good for another discussion. Yeah, could you tell me something about OrbitsEdge? Like,
So
yeah.
our thing is high-powered compute in space, and I've got like less than 15 minutes at this point because I have an
Oh my god.
interview coming up at
Uh,
10:30.
uh,
Um, but yeah,
okay.
we're high-powered compute in space. We have a partnership with HPE.
Mm-hmm.
They're currently flying one of their computers on the ISS,
Mm-hmm.
and our plan is to fly the same sort of computer outside the ISS. We're working on a solution that does radiation shielding and thermal management so that going on into the future, we can have modern, sophisticated computers in space.
A supercomputer in space. That would be amazing too. Okay.
That's a big deal. One of the part of the benefit to that is there's not enough bandwidth to get all the data that
Mm-hmm.
you want down to
Exactly.
Earth. So by having computation for the transport layer, you can you can process that data and reduce the total amount of data that has to come down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, perfect. And for example, for a Mars rover, right? That thing moves pretty slow, right? Because you have to
Yes,
like slowly inch up and like wait 10 minutes plus, depending on the distance at that point.
40-ish. Oh, yeah, yeah.
40, so yeah, okay, at the edges, right? So I would say that's super useful. And then we could also,
Yes,
and once we get more lift capacity, we could like dump a ton of rovers there and really do some research, right? Why,
yes.
why just
And
one? Yeah.
if you're gonna do anything involving mining or generating fuel or propellant or something along those lines, you can't get away with meters per day. That if that's the case, you'll end up with a 2-year mission.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have like 5 gallons of fuel. That does nothing whatsoever. You need to
Exactly.
be able to travel and process kilometers per day, and
Mm-hmm.
this is what enables that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So we have to go faster then. My profile, I'm working on saving the world using different technologies. I'm working on some AI systems. Also have a system for like recognizing emotion just from your voice, right? Some AGI system that you can. Well, it's still a beta. It's called 01, my name. But the whole point is this. Um, okay, so Suro stands for Sustainable Routine. Suro.ai, my company, right? And it's mainly used. Its main use is combining VR and the real world. So if you do something in VR, let's say you're cooking or you're like gardening, right? You make anything really. If you do that enough, right, and like control an external robot, and you collect all of that data, that's a perfect training data for that robot system. And if you do that at a massive scale, you can automate every single task forever, right? That's something easy, doable with current tech, right? So that's the main focus. On top of that, decentralized societies is a big thing. Centralization to me is a code smell, so we have to get rid of it. We have to make it so that people can, with one of our devices, for example, these ships, one, they're 3D printed and they're cheaper than normal super yachts, right? Like a 50-meter super yacht would cost you $30 million, right? So ours are basically also gonna go on autopilot. So you don't even need a full crew all the time.
So
Instead, yeah,
autonomous yachts.
yes.
Are you working with oh gosh, what do they call that? Uh, feeling like it's called digital design.
Never heard of that, but go on.
Uh, the idea is you're taking more of a holistic view towards the design, where it's not just design elements that combine. It's kind of like kind of like Minecraft, where you have like a
That's the whole
whole
point.
world.
You're in a sense, yeah. Go on.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. That I guess.
Yeah, and the thing is, all of these things tie together, right? They all amplify each other, and it's a sustainable routine. That's what I
So
mean with it.
so some of the stuff I'm hearing sounds similar to. I've heard some possibly unrelated things where people are talking about using blockchain technology to streamline data flows in this sort of sense. Is that something you're looking at,
So the
or
thing, okay, that's okay. I wanted to wait with this announcement, right? But so these yachts are gonna be on pre-sale in like 2 months,
as
right?
NFTs?
As NFTs, and NFT is the
I was
key.
I
Yeah,
saw where this.
yeah, yeah.
I
And
felt that was where this went.
another thing we're also selling is jetpacks, right? And you can already, yeah, and those are gonna be delivered within months. Actual jetpacks, right?
Physical?
Physical jetpacks that you can use, right?
How
Yeah.
long?
So go to Gravity
What's their
Industries.
what's
That's
their life? What's their flight time?
I would say 7 minutes maybe, but
That's a long time. Like that's a long time. You can travel significant distances. You can travel what, 10 miles?
pretty much, right? So it's definitely useful. Oh yeah, let me just go to the main site for a bit. Yeah.
I didn't
Um,
mean to anticipate your your whole thing.
no, but we great minds think alike. So it's obvious that you would know where I'm heading, right? Yeah. And using all of that, I can get every other project just rolling, and it's all gonna help people. It's gonna make life easier, safer. Climate change would be less of an issue in your mind, right? People right now don't even want to have children because they don't know if they can guarantee a quality of life at all. But if you have a self-sustaining system like that, right, you can just repair these yachts, like with 3D printers, for example. You would have more predictability. You could have automated farming going on, right? Automated shipping. Um, so and you would have less of a reliance on third parties, right? For example, China, you don't technically need China at that point. You can also 3D print electronics right now. That's still in an early stage, but you can do it. There's three.
Lithography style, you mean?
No, not at that level, but higher level than that, right?
Okay,
But
like assembling boards and stuff.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
Well, yeah.
sure.
That's I guess that's what 3D assembly, robotic
Um,
assembly.
no, I mean it's just one 3D printer that just prints the plastic or whatever, right? Then well, these other, well, it would basically print um, mm, most things that you would need to have a functioning electronic system, and you would have to add very little, right? Which is just mainly the chips, right, and power systems.
So
Um,
my understanding for the way circuit boards are assembled today is you have a series of robots. Each one adds one or two things. I feel like it'd be kind of neat if one robot could assemble the whole board, where it just picks up component A, puts it where it goes,
yeah, that's
picks up
actually something
B.
you could do. Like you would just, yeah, that's something you could do, right? But I'm not at that level yet. But that's definitely doable. So the whole point is you want this entire thing, even starting from production, to be automated or delegated. Since it's 3D printed, I can delegate the work to many different 3D printing companies locally, right? It doesn't have to be shipped all over the world. It's local. Local first is a good thing, so that would save a lot of costs and time, right? So yeah, that's it. Let's see. Let me just move on. So inflatable habitats. I really love inflatable habitats, right? I mean, sure, a ship is nice, but you want to live
What
somewhere long term too. Oh yeah, go on.
what's not to love about them? I mean, they're
Yeah.
a fantastic mass savings,
Mm-hmm.
mass and volume.
Exactly, but I'm talking about at every level, everywhere in space. It's amazing. Let's say you fill a starship with like inflatable habitats, done, right? Mini city right there. Same for here, like in the Netherlands, we don't have a lot of space anymore. House prices are going through the roof, right? Well, not literally, but yeah.
Ooh.
So what do you do? Either you, well, you can't do much in that situation, right? But with inflatable habitats, it will cost a lot less money. You can print it however you like, right?
Now,
And yeah, go
the
on.
Dutch are pioneers in reclaiming land. I
I
guess it's
know,
not
I know.
unreasonable that you would also work with seasteading.
We do not. Well, there. Wait, no, no, no. There are plans for like a city at sea or something, but we are not there yet. So this would be a start, right? This is an easy way that's doable with current technologies. And of course, you have to design them in a way that people do not notice it's an inflated habitat, right? But that's very doable. It's a more of an engineering thing. Um, so people's idea of like an inflatable habitat is like a bouncy castle. I think that's kind of fake news. Bouncy castles ruined the entire industry probably, but it's definitely it has the potential to give everybody a home by default, permanently, right? So if you don't have to pay your mortgage every month, for example, how much would you be saving? And if you can have like inflated farms, for example, so they'd be protected from the environment and all of those influences, right? You can plan stuff better. You can even collect rainwater for like at a later day when there's like a drought.
No,
Anything really.
I'm a
Hmm.
fan of seasteading as a principle. I feel that it has some serious economic uh, possibilities. It can become a full self-sustaining platform, and it could actually be good for fish, for wildlife.
Yeah, that
Much
too.
of the
That too.
deep,
It's
yeah,
a sustainable routine. Yeah.
much of the deep oceans, the surface is actually pretty devoid of life for a significant depth.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest amount of life in the oceans is in the littoral regions. So
Yeah, near
creating
the bottom,
more,
right, and all of these hydrothermal pits, for example, and other stuff.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, creating more littoral regions would actually be pretty beneficial for fisheries.
Exactly, right? So everything that I'm doing has so many side benefits. It's like different than most capitalistic endeavors. this basically has no victims in my view. See, the only thing is CO2 output. Like that's what people would be talking about, right? It's the only thing. Same way that they're talking about rockets causing a lot of CO2 emissions,
But
right? But even that
toss
can
in
be.
solar,
Hmm?
toss in solar to couple with your farming, and you become kind of energy neutral.
Yeah. So the only thing is production, but every company has production, and I would say you want to be energy negative. So there's no argument against everything that you've been doing, and to be energy negative is to probably create, well, I would say compared to the average person, that anyone who uses these services would have less of an output, less of an impact on the environment, right? So you could calculate it like that.
They
Um,
would. You could actually calculate your carbon offset by the amount of life you attract and
oh, that too. Yeah,
foster.
yeah.
So if you've got 10,000 tons of fish living
Mm. Mm-hmm.
under your seasteading habitat,
Oh my
well, that
god,
is
that's so self-sustaining, and you could throw in some automated fishing systems, and so you don't have to like trawl the freaking ocean floor and destroy it, right? Like I don't like these non-renewable ways of doing business because if you're just leeching from the planet and like
right.
not letting anything grow or like bloom, you're destroying more than you create and you're just basically privatizing the profits and socializing the losses, right, to the future.
Yeah.
But
Um. So this is super cool and super interesting, and
yeah,
I'd
I know
like
you
to.
have your meeting, so we'll
I
talk
have
again,
Matt.
right? Yeah,
Let's do like 3 weeks or so. I feel
yeah,
like I
yeah.
need
That's
to
that's
digest
perfect.
some of this.
Yeah. All right. So I had a good time, and I'm really excited for
Me
what's
too.
coming up. And it's all right if I share this video. I really want more people on board and seeing what we're doing.
Yeah, sure. It's yeah, that's fine. Try to
Yeah.
cut away from me when I'm scratching my nose or something, but yeah, that's fine.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in
All
the
right.
future. Bye bye.
Yeah, talk to you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, Rick. That was Rick Ward. Uh, this isn't the last we've seen of him. He's an amazing guy, and I'd love to have all of you on board. So I guess I spoiled it a bit, but the announcement is that um, the pre-sales will start quite soon. No, and you can also buy jetpacks. I would say follow your dreams and see you in the next one. Bye bye.